Welcome and hello and welcome, guys. Welcome and hello. It is, a bittersweet day because I think a lot of us that are long term SOFI investors, since a lot of us since the IPOE days, we kind of come to expect this with SoFi. It turns in a solid ER, nothing spectacular, nothing out of this world. These aren't, Nvidia numbers, the margins. I was impressed with a few things in the report. I was concerned about a few other things. Again, I think it was sort of a B plus ER. I wasn't blown away by it, but I wasn't mad at it. I just think it was solid, it was strong, it was very SoFi. The growth didn't really accelerate to a point that would just, push the price action higher. You see what's very typical in the first, you get that little pop at open, some shorts start to cover, and you think, okay, there's buying pressure, the price is going to continue to go up. But that's not what happens because right at the beginning of the day, there's a lot of liquidity. And so market makers use that opportunity to place a lot of sell orders and then to keep their beta. It's hard to remember all this shit, but to keep their beta essentially at zero or neutral, they have to dump shares into that liquidity. And then within 15 minutes, as you can see on the volume chart, the liquidity mostly dries up and the stock starts to basically drift sideways and downward. This is very typical behavior for SoFi stock after the ER. And why is that? Well, it's highly shorted. It's still high retail ownership. Notice that institutional ownership is just over, 50% still. And a lot of us bulls will make hay, trying to pump this turd up like a Reebok pump. A lot of us will make hay of the insider ownership being strong at 15%. But if you want to put your realistic big boy pants on, how many of those shares have actually been paid for with anybody's money other than ours? I mean, how many shares did Noto buy in the open market versus were just gifted to him, by virtue of him being so handsome? How much did Chamath actually take out of his pocket and pay for his enormous share count? So how much did Jeremy Rochelle pay for those millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of shares he dumps, in his pre-planned trading agreement or whatever? Little tight pants special, if you know what I mean. It's days like this, I'm glad I'm just wearing really tight pants, just choking off the blood flow to my tiny wang. Oh, it's a sad story, guys. Um, no, anyway, I'm not sad. Because honestly, there's a hell of a lot in this ER to be optimistic about. The other question people are asking me is, where do I see this thing going? Well, I mean, I'm no Svengali. Like, I just kind of look at the chart and see where did the thing make a markup before. So if it doesn't find some support in this low 20s region, then like honestly, there's nothing really holding it up in the chart in my mind till right around 14, which I don't want to go there. Don't go there. I told you not to go there. I told you not to go there. You guys fans of the Adam Sandler film Anger Management? I need some anger management after this. Yeah, stock is just really, really bleeding. I mean, it's not that the ER was extraordinarily good, I guess. I was kind of watching bleary eyed. I watched some on Tevis's channel, and then I was watching the stock goat. So I haven't had a chance to go over the thing in great detail. I just hiked in and I've had other work to do, but I've kind of gone over the high points. What's going on? Yeah, I think I saw Scott out there. I saw P90X Chris out in the war room. Yeah, I know, Scott. I was going out for a breakfast burrito that never materialized. Ended up taking like a 4 mile walk. I'm just starving. Oh, I'm an idiot. But anyway, so why is the thing selling off? I think it's a mechanical sell off. I think it's to be like, we think, oh, the stock came down from the 30s down to 23, that's a huge sell off. But market makers sort of planning longer term think, oh, the stock went from, 8 to 30 and we did our market maker magic up there. And then the stock moves how they want it to move. Okay. I use the analogy all the time. We don't get to drive the bus, we're just passengers. And if you get too emotional about price action, I think you end up making bad decisions. Because, touchdown Danny Dolev, the baby seal from Mizuho, just came back and said, okay, re-rated his buy at 38. But I don't love this chart, guys. Communication breakdown. I'm very tempted to do the SoFi rock opera in support of this stock, support of my biological father, Anthony Noto. He's going to have to trot out some beautiful golf course, face softball questions from some middle-aged lady in a pantsuit, hairstyle left over from a 1980s prom, voice reeking of desperation, never even appearing on camera, aspirations of being a weather girl never materialized. So you're interviewing Anthony Noto, some fucking seminar, San Diego, and some palm trees, some little bullshit set. Noto giving his terrible canned formulaic answers, creating zero excitement in the investment community. Women interviewing him is just falling asleep. He's well prepared. He's well versed in the numbers. He's well Botoxed. Is this thing on mute? Nobody's watching. Oh, I hate these days, honestly. These are the gut check days, guys. These are the days this is the psychological warfare market makers wage on us. This is why they're mechanics and they always make money, because they don't trade based on emotion. And dips don't scare them, because they don't want to sell right then. They want to sell when it's high. And a lot of the shorts, were short from different positions. So they don't care when they're going to make. A lot of times there's the shorts immediately flip on the fade and then they go long. It's just the order flow. You have to understand how to read the order flow. I'm not that, in depth. I don't put everything into a spreadsheet. I just kind of wing it. I don't know. You guys want to read this turd? Anybody interested? Who's here? What's up, El Pacifico? Bought 1,000 more. Very nice. Yeah, I bought some Microsoft. I bought some SoFi. I'm going to buy some more stuff a little bit later on. There's just too many compelling buy. And I'm not naive. I realize, I am buying into sort of a bearish sentiment with a lot of these stocks. I mean, Nvidia is still holding up pretty well. I mean, Meta is just a couple points down after a nice pop. I think Microsoft is going to come back, to the 500 area sooner than later. That Azure, the slowdown in Azure from 39 to 38% was with Microsoft was supply constrained, their own supply. They don't have enough data centers. And that's what it's ridiculous to worry about their CapEx. You think they don't know how to plan and they don't know how they're going to monetize those data centers? They're already doing it. They can push, 500 million of their freaking cloud customers right into their AI product, monetize that shit. I just, it's totally irrational. Like even the analysts have Microsoft to average like 50% upside. There's probably no stock I would buy right now in the AI space, in any space, tech, software, anywhere. Is just my number one stock is still Microsoft. Now, SoFi could have been closed for a minute, but they both kind of fallen off a log. So my portfolio is taking a big butt plug right in the face, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I don't know. I don't really want to read through this. I read through it a bit, but the nice part is, guys, the net margin was almost 17.5%. And Noto's talking about just getting to 20%. I've always said I think they can get the net margins much, much better than 20%. That's a game changer. What else is a game changer? You guys ever listen to Dr. Rashad Ritchie? And that's a game changer. Very smart man. I forget his real name. But anyway, people are hilarious. Like Dr. Laura. There's nothing wrong with Dr. Laura, but I think she has a like a PhD in English or something like that, or philosophy. It's like when you come on, you're giving people advice. People assume you're like, you're a doctor of like you're a psychologist or something. Anyway, um, so there's a lot to like here. The member growth, it's strong, but it's not strong where you would say, okay, it's incredible based on it's solid growth off of last quarter. What I do like is the cross selling. 40% of the new products are sold to existing customers, so that's moving up. The fee based revenues moving up. Net interest margins were still very nice from 5.9 to 5.72. um you know Delinquencies and charge offs were down, I believe, 50% or 52% year on year. Trying to remember all this stuff, guys, from when I was half asleep. So keep checking my mic, make sure it's not on mute. Anyway, you guys can read through this crap on their what I'm looking forward to are sort of these new game changing avenues that SoFi is really yet to, you know, capitalize on, which is their crypto, the stable coin. All this stuff is a little ways away. So I'm really not surprised the market's getting a little bit impatient with these multiples because we're not seeing anything super dramatic in terms of, and then you still have the overhang from the money raise, which of course was 2750, but I think Goldman crashed this turd. So I think Goldman is, nudging their institutional clients with the elbow, a sharp elbow to the nutsack, and saying, hey, you're going to be able to really load more a little bit down the road when we crash this turd down to 14, like the fucking scoundrels that we are. I mean, Goldman, the day after they close their offering, they're the lead underwriter for, they lower their price target down to 24, and then the stock makes a V line for 24. I'm not saying Goldman is the, you know, dark master of the universe, but they are, you know, BlackRock too. And obviously Vanguard, I just don't think is as active. But, everybody's scared of BlackRock and Goldman. Nobody wants to two-step tango with those turds because they don't tend to lose money on their trading. I mean, if you see where do they make a lot of money, they make a lot of money everywhere, but obviously investment banking and different areas. But especially BlackRock is very effective at positioning, in individual securities. They just pick good securities. They just have good timing. They're just lucky. They're just fortunate. No, that's not how it works. These folks make markets, they drive markets, they know where markets are going. They don't guess. That's not how they build the mansions and stuff, guys. But if you look, I think this is why I think the stock is vulnerable because, if you look at the previous, and I realize these are summer quarters and this is a somewhat cyclical business, but it is what it is. I mean, this is how people react to things. So previously, they added almost $80 million, and then the last quarter they added over $100 million, and then this quarter they added $50 million. So, and on the back of increased membership, and you're talking about cross selling, you have a big increase in products. You have a bigger spread between products and members, which is good. Whatever, 13.7 million members and 20 million products, or whatever the case may be. Don't quote me, guys, because honestly, I heard all these numbers when I'm half asleep, and I do have a photogenic memory. I see OJ, man. I've been doing an Al Cowlings impression for like 40 years. He looks scared. I watched way too much of the OJ trial. I was fascinated by it. That was some legal wrangling, I tell you. The glove don't fit. You must have quit. What? What the fuck are you talking about? He's trying it on over a rubber glove. I was not that old. I mean, I wasn't a lawyer or anything. Still am not, thankfully. But anyway, all the players. I still remember all the players. Some of them are gone, some of them aren't. Marsha Clark, Christopher Darden, Johnny Cochran, F. Lee Bailey, Shapiro, Kardashian. OJ had a lot of lawyers. He trotted out Dershowitz, maybe. He had those genetics guys. So many lawyers. Judge Ito. People lose sight of the fact that, two people were just brutally murdered by OJ, allegedly. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, member growth is quite strong, Travis. We have a cam. We have a cam piped directly into your restroom, your shower. You're looking good, buddy. Work the lower abs a little bit more. Yeah, perfect. No, we really don't, guys. I don't bug any of my viewers' places. SFM, I sure will. The sell-off on high beta is crazy. Is retail? I don't think retail is necessarily leaving. I have a bunch of physical silver, Jason Watkins, that I've had for a long time. I don't have a lot of physical gold just because when I was, many years ago, I didn't have the money to add ounces of gold. But I remember when silver was like, $4 an ounce or something. It was cheap. I was buying those big loads of coins. I'm not really trying to dump it right now. It's kind of like my reserve currency, my seed bank. Hope you guys have a complete seed bank. No GMO seeds. Need original seeds so I can repopulate everything after the bomb. Me and Mel Gibson. I don't know why. I just want to do my Kevin Costner impression. Market makers lowering the price. Yeah, I mean, Gustavo, yes. That is, at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. They want you to buy high and sell low so they can buy low and sell high to you. That's the name of the game. But they do all kinds of mechanics and machinations and trades and instruments and, shorting and infinite types of things. Options trades that are very hard to lose on as long as they know sort of where the price is going. Felix type stuff. Felix, how? I'm in Monte Carlo partying my balls off. How are you peasants doing? Buy my options course. You motherfuckers, I need another golden retriever, you bitches. It's Felix here. Oh, this show is sponsored by Peruvian Wham Wham. You know how we party in the south of France, bitches. Dude, I wish I had the stamina to party with Felix. Seems like an absolute monster. Folks, I won't be teaching my options course. I'll be in Ibiza for 3 weeks. Taking a chemist, a pharmacist, 2 physicians with me. A large Louis Vuitton chest completely full of designer drugs. No, I don't know. I'm serious. Probably Felix is sober as a jaybird. I just love the guy. So animated. I love you, Turders. I love Stock Mo. I love unbranded black baseball caps. Now, who was this fucking Neil hipster on the Canadian Fin Turd Mafia? They don't have any fat people on that show anymore. It's absolute discrimination. I was trying to be the Rosa Parks of fat people, but it backfired. Didn't end up making any headway. So you're not being discriminated against, sir. You're just fat. Oh, really cut me to the quick. Anyway, I don't really know what this show's about. I'm just kind of venting because annoyed. I'm annoyed with price action. I don't fear price action. I don't sell price action, but I certainly caring about it. I certainly get a little bit annoyed by it. Just take a quick cluck and look at the live short interest. Almost cursed. I almost said fuck. Oh, I said it. The show is not for kids, by the way. That's marketed that way. It's also not. So yeah, they're shorting a little bit, but They probably covered early and started shorting again. I don't know. Probably hoping to drive the stock down to that 14 number. I don't think that's going to happen because I really don't think retail's dumping. I mean, certain people are short term, but I still think the stock's going to go to all time highs sooner than later. The stock can move a lot. It usually will go back up in like 4 to 6 weeks. You start to see it getting positive momentum after a good earnings report. I mean, there's a reason the stock went from lows to highs, but this is very typical also retracement. I mean, a high like 32, you'll quite typically see retracement anywhere from, I'm just, spitballing, but 35 to 60%, even on solid uptrend runs. Stocks still, if you see like 10%, that's not really retracement. That's just a little bit of a dip. That's some profit taking. What technical retracement, like Fibonacci stuff, and that's all Greek to me, frankly. Um, Trust me, it's very typical for a stock like SoFi that came off 8, then came off 12, went up to 32 to come back to, 20 or even 18 and then go back up. This is how the mechanics of the market work. It's not up to us. Like I said, we're not driving the bus. Anthony Noto's still harvesting surface water. People are talking about also the quality of the growth. It's a little bit too cute. It's a little bit too steady. It's a little bit too formulaic. Some people just don't believe the growth story. Frankly, I do believe the growth story, and I think that consistency, screams safety to me. It screams stability. It's like, okay, and the tech business, at least from what I heard from you traders, I haven't had a chance to read the ER in detail, and I definitely will do that probably this weekend. Um, but people were talking about some tech, landing some tech, some enterprise customers. Tech revenues actually accelerated year on year to like 12% or whatever. So tech was looking up, but one of the things I'd point out is people were talking about pricing the company higher based on the tech multiple, but if you have a high margin business like loan platform, I know that might not have the stability of long-term institutional banking clients, coming onto your tech platform, but that can be very, very durable. You also, I mean, talking about durable competitive advantage, SoFi's cost of funding their deposits were up very, very solid. So their net interest margins held up despite the fact that, interest rates have come down considerably, despite the fact, the difference they pay on interest on deposits versus their warehouse facility is like 1.81%. They're still saving almost 2% based on that bank charter, based on that decision to buy Hippie Valley Bank from Jimmy Stewart. And you, Mary, stop playing. I hate that song. Play Mississippi Hot Dog. Would it shock you guys that I have to go pee? I'm really sorry. I'm getting old, dude. My bladder just does not hold up. I apologize. And unfortunately for you guys, I'm super hygienic and OCD, so I have to wash my hands thoroughly with soap. So I don't know. I'll be back in a minute or two. Sorry. Shit, I don't like this price action. I have to pee. Hey guys, welcome and hello to Unpoco Moss. It's me, Cornbread, Chunky is charged. To quote the great Rob Dyrdek, not really great, but I did love Big Black. Rest in peace. Um, I like drama. Christopher Drama Pfaff. I don't know. The things you watched during COVID when you couldn't leave the house were like absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, guys, it's me, Cornbread. They call me Cornbread because I'm moist, I'm doughy, and I crumble under pressure. They call me the tugboat because I'm short in stature. I pull more than my own weight, and I'm rarely far from my home port. They call me Stubby Cohiba due to an unfortunate manscaping accident I had with a Vitamix blender in the late 1970s just outside of Miami, Florida. Kids, do not manscape with an open spinning blade at 30,000 RPMs. Very, very dangerous. And you too could end up with the nickname Stubby Cohiba. They call me DJ Patchy Drizzle. They call me MC Al Dente. Of course, they call me by my Christian name, Tabasco Rojas. Um, this thing on mute. I don't know. Add leaps to SoFi. I just was buying shares. I'm going to buy shares and sell covered calls because I don't know where this thing's going to bleed to. And I don't think the next move up is going to be as explosive as the last move up. I think it's going to be kind of institutions adding incrementally. Um, I don't think it's going to be this crazy explosive move because the numbers and stuff aren't. I think over time it's there. I think the investment is there, but there's nothing to make you do rocket ships. Like, okay, a billion a quarter. Okay, you know, that growth was there last quarter. Those that revenue was there last quarter. You have all these new members. You talking about cross selling. That's your whole business model. Is this wheel strategy? So this stuff has to go up for this narrative to keep up. And I think the growth story and the narrative holds up really well with this print. I think it does. I think this sell off is completely unwarranted, but it is expected. You know, this was not a light the world on fire retail rush in. That the retail market orders are absorbed within the first 3 minutes of trading. It's weak sauce. You guys are weak sauce, tiny wing, broke ass, shoe shine box pikers. You got no money. You're no account. You ain't bona fide. Once you're all added up, you're still no account. Me too. I'm no account. And I got a pretty good amount of shares, but it's not an amount of shares that anybody cares about institutionally. Hey, this fat guy has quite a few shares. Ah, good for him. Let's crush his nuts. Like the fat sack of shit that he is. Thanks, not a lurker. Should have put all of it into NVIDIA. Just been done with it. I saw that's a IREN. That was getting crushed today. Verizon just doing really well. AT&T, some of these dividend payers, not a bad place to be. Microsoft pays a nice dividend, not too high, but I'm in Home Depot. Mastercraft was one of those 10 stocks that I was going to talk about, sort of 10 oddball stocks. SMCI just getting trounced again today ahead of earnings for no particular reason on purpose. Bitminer, that thing is sinking like a stone despite Blackstone talking up Ethereum every chance they get. The oil of the future. Control the pipeline of the future of finance. That's what they're saying. SoFi's using it, but I don't know how much I believe all that rhetoric. It's going to be numerous options in terms of blockchain. That's what my understanding, given my limited, feeble brain capacity. Tiny wing energy. Thanks, Devin Ishida. What's going on, my friend? You know, I don't know. I'm not negative. I'm not selling. I mean, I'm buying, so that's positive. This stuff just it is frustrating. Yeah, I'm really positive in terms of you know, the ER itself, the actual the numbers, the fundamentals of the business. I was just going over 8 things on like not I don't use Chat GTP. I don't just use Copilot. I kind of use a combination of these things and have my own little secret sauce that my nerds threw together. But gap profitability is consistent. It's rising. Operating leverage is showing up. Net interest income grew despite rate headwinds. So net interest margin is stable. Interest income is up. This is what I always say. The loan book is performing better than peers. Um, And the reason it's performing better than peers is because they have higher quality borrowers. That's why I'm saying, even if, even if loans start to fall apart, SoFi is still going to be worth the most relative to its peers because their loans are always going to perform the best because they have the most careful underwriting, the tightest credit controls, and that's not going to go away. It's not just like, oh, we have the best underwriting, we got the best borrowers, but all of a sudden they're all going to default. Everybody who says that just remember that was the mantra for years. Credit quality, risky, personal loans, it's also risky. Well, it wasn't risky because they de-risked it with their selective persnickety nature. Tech platform finally reaccelerated, revenue growth returned, margins improved, new enterprise deals added. This segment, it acts as a multiple expander for the stock. When it works, it should trade like a fintech. And just as I argued, with this stupid Copilot list, I would argue that the loan platform could basically, give this thing sort of a, I don't know, a cloud multiple, a software multiple. It's sort of a tiny wing trajectory. Member growth stayed really strong without all the promotional bloat. So they didn't pay a bunch for ads. They didn't add a bunch of new stuff. They didn't sponsor new tours. So lower customer acquisition cost, high quality member ads, higher cross sell. This means the ecosystem is working. They're not just buying growth. So the cross sell is starting to work. The flywheel is working, and you're seeing that reflected in the sort of leverage of the business. Deposits surged again. Cheap funding is a huge advantage. I just talked about that. Like, it's basically saving them almost 2 points from using warehouse facilities. And when you talk about 2 points across a business, cheaper capital, that's an insane level. You would kill for 2/10 of a point. 2/10, give me 2/10. That old joke, like Doc. I had a dream. It's like, one night I'm a wigwam, one night I'm a teepee, and the next night I'm a wigwam again, then the next night I'm a teepee. It's like, I think I know what's wrong. You're 2/10. That's my that's my that's my Dr. Katz impression. You guys know Dr. Katz. Yeah, Fireman Pete. Hello and welcome, sir. SoFi got worshed. It got worshed, Nashua style. It's been on the Downeaster Alexa right to my nutsack. Wish I could just do the SoFi rock opera and be done with it. I'd like to dedicate this to my biological father. I added a thunderstruck component. I wrote the SoFi rock opera. I was taking a lot of sedatives, spending a lot of time in public restrooms, just going couch to couch surfing or restroom surfing, as it were. I went into a little My Chemical Romance, into a SPAC in the middle with you. So it's kind of, this was the evolution of like how the stock, we bought the SPAC and then we had high hopes. Then it kind of drifted down into the doldrums and stayed there for a couple of years, just using our testes for a speed bag. Oh, those were the days. It goes into a little Billy Joel. I don't know what the hell. I think that's Pearl Jam. This thing is bad, man. I can barely read it. Wish I was still drinking. I would just drink a bunch and belt it out. Goes doing karaoke. Someone claimed they heard me doing a U2 song. It's like, not unless you were really into karaoke in the mid 90s. No, that's funny. That was a comedy act, not a singer. Can't save your marriage, you psycho. They're like, she said if you sing it really good, she'll give me another chance. Yeah, no pressure, right? I used to do wedding photography. I enjoyed photography a lot. I enjoyed like headshots and portrait, landscape photography, but doing wedding photography for money is like the worst. The pressure is ungodly. I'm talking a long, long time ago with like film cameras. it's even with digital. I mean, I started shooting digital with those early Canons once they had 8 megapixel. I forget what they were. There was oh, I forget the names. I probably still have a lot of them on my shelf. That 1D2N, that was the beast. That's my favorite camera body of all time. Only 8 megapixels, but they were huge megapixels. They were huge pixels. Beautiful, just butter soft, blurry bokeh. The prints, so people would just die over those prints. Order them and order them. Stupid turds. Could have taken it to Walgreens. Come out bad. I love my clients. Love my wedding clients. For joy to work with. I didn't do very many, but couldn't take the pressure. Oh my god, what a disaster! I never really screwed one up. Thank goodness. I didn't really like screw it up badly. Might not hit some home runs, but I didn't like crap my pants or anything. Yeah, another day, another dump. Anthony Kropowski, dump in the pants. Yeah, that's one way to look at it, Katie. No, I took a big hit today, but that's okay. I think fundamentally it's really strong. So deposits surged again. That was important. Personal loan credit performance held up. Charge off stable. Delinquencies improving. No sign of deterioration in prime borrowers. This removes a major overhang that everybody was talking about. Guidance conservative but still strong. Guide low, beat, raise later. The markets hate conservative guides in the moment, but institutions love the That's what I mean. They're just doing this for long term. I think Noto probably knew with this guidance in this environment the stock was going to get hit like this. I mean, he can read the order flow. He can read the shorts. He knows what's going on far better than I. As does Chris Lapointe. I got to go back and, like I said, I was half asleep. I got to listen to the earnings call. I got to read this thing, and then I might be able to give you some cogent analysis, but I highly doubt it. The business mix is shifting. Not immune. Business mix is shifting toward higher margin segments. This is a long-term story. Less reliance on student loans. Obviously, this is idiotic AI stuff. More contribution from financial services and tech. Higher margin, more recurring revenue. Yeah. I mean, there's a hell of a lot to like here. Bottom line, profitability, deposits, credit quality, tech platform, member growth, operating leverage. This sell-off was positioning, not performance. If you really kind of look at what mechanics do, you kind of knew they were going to do this to us. I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was kind of going to swing up. Like when I saw the print, I thought it was going to swing up like 7, 8 points. Then it was going to come back flat and close like even maybe. They just slammed my nuts in an office drawer. One of those big solid oak desks. If you look at recent filings, JP Morgan, or not JP Morgan, but Vanguard actually increased. They just filed, I guess that's yesterday, 129. What is it today? 130. But they actually increased 3.64%, 111 million shares. I know JP Morgan was up to 65 million. So just between them twos, you're looking at this is why I'm not super worried about that institutional ownership, just at about 53%. The quality of those top few institutions with Vanguard, JP Morgan, very solid. A couple of others been bailing, obviously Bank of America, subsequent or simultaneous downgrade. Royal Bank of Canada, stalwart, probably in solidarity with the Canadian fin-turd mafia. Seriously, who is that Neil guy? I think I used to play frisbee golf with that guy. Yeah, Tesla's doing well. I still have a lot of Tesla. I don't really look at it as like, oh, my portfolio's down. I'm just like disappointed in in myself because I always want things to go up. Not worried about it long term, like in terms of my money. Whatever, dude. I can make more money. I'll drive Uber. I don't really care. But anyway, yeah, it's just scorekeeping, but Wall Street is crap and corrupt. Look at Neo up and down the whole times. Yeah, it is. It is totally until you're able to get to definitive numbers and earnings. It's like, why can't they've been able to manipulate Microsoft? I'm a little bit surprised by how well they've been able to do that. But it's hard to manipulate a stock like Nvidia that has massive earnings because anytime you push it down, there's people there to buy up that dip. It's constant liquidity, constant cravings, quote Chris Isaac. Stockton product. It's like the Diaz brothers. Stockton, bitch. Dude, you did not want to tangle with the Diaz brothers. You do not want to tangle with anybody really in Stockton. Kind of a rough town. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Got some beautiful parts and beautiful mansions with oak trees, and then it's got a lot of conditions you just wouldn't really want to encounter after dark. Yeah, Fireman Pete, I think you're going to be absolutely fine over time because I know a lot of it you were buying quite low. Um, Buying here, I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to find that support, 21, whatever. I don't think you're going to have to take the ride, the highway to hell, all the way down to 14. But what do I know, guys? Very little, as it turns out. But after Billy Joel, we run into Pearl Jam. If anybody can convince me to do this SoFi rock opera, I'm going to look like a freaking idiot, but I already do. I'm not a singer. Then it goes into some live. Like I said, I wrote this a long time ago, and it's more on the depressing angle when I thought like the stock was never going to go above 8. I mean, I thought it would. I just maybe thought it wouldn't in my lifetime. Remember, I was telling you guys, like, Microsoft was held down in the doldrums after that sort of, .com bust up for like 10 years. So sometimes you have to hold through the pain, the king of pain, to quote the great Sting. Sting and Trudy have tantric sex for like 48 hours straight, according to them. I'm not buying it. I don't think you get that fit just slapping the bass. Who has sex for 48 hours? Go to the bathroom. You have stuff to do. Pick up the dry cleaning. Take the dog out for a walk. But you're just walking around with a comforter over your wife in sexual congress. Just trying to pick up a dog turd out on the avenue. Come on. I mean, I know you got servants and stuff, but there's real life gets in the way. But Sting and Trudy have some like fruity little dogs. I have no idea what's wrong with me. Well, I think these things. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something along those lines. Yeah, Richard Vaughn getting Jr. It's a tough one. I think, yeah, it'll do well. Zoom out, look at the chart. Devin Ishida has prospectus. I think the performance is so fly. The price action is not exactly fly. It's like an anvil flying right into my nuts. But that one dude, Brando's happy. Brando's happy, which brings me some solace. Not really, but he's all right. We love our bears. We don't have very many of them. I have some Neo bears. Rightly so. Stock's been a massive sack of crap. So have I. So have I. All right. Yeah, it's just that market cap is just scary. I cannot I can wrap my head around SoFi at 20. I mean, these multiples, I don't like it. I think it should get paid a lot more for the growth. I think it's going to be a future monster. I buy a lot more at 20. I'll free up money other place. I'll probably sell some Tesla. Probably an idiot. Sell some Nvidia if that turd pops above 200 again. Sell some Meta. That thing goes up another $50. Who knows? But I want to own more SoFi long term. I think this is a can't miss. I think the consistency, of this growth is just extraordinary. Annual growth, I mean, almost $1 billion in growth coming off of, just over half of that the last couple of years. Look at, nominally 21 to 22, it's about half a bill in growth, Half a bill in growth. Half a bill in growth. Yahtzee, we got a Billy. You know, year on year, it's basically doubling. Which, and what I've been talking about till I'm blue in the face or fat in the face or chubby in the cheeks or whatever it might be, the CAGR assumptions these analysts making, I think, are just completely flawed. And it assumes no new products. I mean, even with what they had, I think CAGRs right now, they're modeling in, you know, 18, 19, 20% on the top side. I think CAGR could be at least 25% and as high as 30% for the next, be like the next 4 years, because they were modeling, sort of starting last year, I guess, what I was taking into account in my AI, the Tevis 3000 2.0. We do have to be disruptive, Tevis 3000 2.0. Appreciate you coming. That is a no-brainer. No-brainers are perfect for me. Anyway, yeah, I'm positive on a lot of aspects of this ER. I'm very positive on management. I'm super positive on the consistency, the growth, the margins look really good. As far as the price action, um, mechanics are going to create this selling pressure. There was a big sell wall um, put in place after they did a little bit of covering, and I think they'll reemerge, probably shorting the stock from even lower levels. That's kind of the move they make. Where do they want to push this thing? The number 20 was being bandied about a lot, sort of Bank of America, Kramer, a lot of people in the media, a lot of people. And this stock has a way of being pushed around. That's the high retail ownership. Um, just unfortunately, we're weak sauce turds. So that's our cross to bear. You guys are basically one of the tiniest swing audience in all of YouTube, even tinier than Stock Mo. Felix has a giant wing audience. I don't know why. Probably that he likes to party. Hello and welcome, Carl. Yeah. Now I know, Carl, but seriously, this thing usually recovers in 4 to 6 weeks. You might see quite a bit of upside from here. I think you're going to see institutions adding. I think they're going to follow, Vanguard, Bank of America. I think some of the other posse will come online because I think they're going to want to move this thing up. I mean, they'd love to buy more at 14 or 12 like they did last time. They really pushed down. But I think there's going to be other institutions that gobble up those shares. I mean, we don't have the gravitas, the bankroll to do it, quite frankly. We're super weak. But anyway, guys. Katie, what's up, Katie? Oh, okay. Buy my course. I need to get another powdered wig for my golden retrievers. Now I'm taking them all for a walk. I'll get my hair styled at the same location. Alexa! Sometimes he's just like super calm, like he's really sedated, and then other times it's like he's just popping massive rails of pure adrenaline. Glad you enjoyed it. My members area are a ready party. Get below the waist, if you know what I mean. Below the waistline of a head and shoulders pattern, you find the real twin and berries. I wish I used to be like a lawyer, an investment banker, an advertising executive, and I'd probably be partying my balls off in Monte Carlo too. Wish I was. Probably have like 6 golden retrievers, 10-inch personality. Tiger and Pags are both good companies. Has great fundamentals. These are great. Pags even pays a dividend. I'm gonna let this dip more than buy the shares sell off. Hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a nice dividend. I don't know that stock personally, but I would definitely take a look at it. I actually go back in the comments and the stocks you guys point out. I definitely take a look at them. But yeah, Pete, that's a great plan. That's a very nice share count. I think you're going to have $1 million position there on your hands. Honestly, just give it some time. I plan to, I plan to sell my shares for no. I've been saying this forever. I'm going to sell my shares for no less than $10 million. And I ain't got that many. I got 6 shares. I got a few. I've been buying and buying and buying. That's all I do. Silver's down like 30% today. No, I hadn't seen that. Let's just look at the trust. Wow. I took it on the nutsack. Sliding gold and silver sets up a test for Bitcoin. Why is that? Kind of interested in this article now. You guys can leave if you want. I'm gonna read this article. I should probably end the show, but um let's see. Barons. Maybe you want to read this because unless you pay for it, you can't get Barons. Probably could find it somewhere. Sliding precious metal price early Friday represents an opportunity for Bitcoin to gain ground, but if it doesn't happen, that would be a major blow to bullish narrative crypto prices for years to come. I really like the Bitcoin chart right now. It's really strong. I think it's going to actually pop. A lot of people are saying it's going to go to 62,000. That's kind of the, I don't know. I think they're doing monkey math. And I'm the head chunky monkey, but I don't like that math. What the hell time is it? I think I got a meeting. Yeah, I'm late for a meeting. Damn it. Let me see. So, sorry guys. Let's see. Oh boy. Endless calls, endless spams, endless bullshit. Can't read, can't see. The prevailing wisdom in the market has been the spectacular surge of gold and silver have come at Bitcoin's expense. I don't really believe that's true. As investors, I just think, people found it safer. People found it more, I don't know. Bitcoin sort of lost its, like, I don't, for lack of a better term, the Lambro sexiness. It's gotten a little bit stale. A lot of the original people who made all the money sold out of it, took their profits. A lot of bag holders in it now. Um, I don't know. I really have no idea what I'm talking about if that's not 100% clear. As investors and traders move money into precious metals to ride the rally, now with prices of metals falling, it makes sense for capital to move back into the crypto sector. Gold was down 5, testing a big round number of 5K an ounce, plummeted to test equally significant level of 100. So silver is down since they wrote this another 30% today. What a drop. I mean, that silver at 100. I mean, that's cray. On the 1-year chart below, the recent divergence between Spider Gold shares, iShares Silver Trust, iShares Bitcoin Trust is clear. From February through September, the 3 assets for the most traded in tandem. A canary in the coal mine appeared in October when Bitcoin ran slide as gold and silver started to track strong bids. The divergence accelerated in December. Precious metals went into overdrive to the upside. That is one hell of a divergence, and silver just going absolutely nuts. That silver chart is crazy. But yeah, you do see the divergence right there with the 2 Tetons pattern and the slumping gunt. The 1-year chart of the Silver's Trust highlights just how extremely the move has been. The fund is up more than 250% over the past year, 138% over 3 months. Closing Thursday, nearly 60% of the 200-day simple moving average. That's crazy. A previous Barron's technical analysis predicted a pullback towards well, they were right, and a little bit conservative, in fact, which would bring the price back to the 21-day exponential moving average. A level of momentum support could reemerge. Monday should I think it's gonna crash way back down, but I could be wrong. Monday should put shareholders on alert as the fund printed the bearish shooting star and the highest daily moving volume, the very round tests the very round $100 level. Thursday brought a bearish hanging man candle, an exhaustion signal that often precedes potential trend change. Yeah, it was an exhausted play. That's what I was talking about with SoFi being sort of it's a crowded long. It is a crowded long. It's a bunch of impotent hipsters holding shares, buying at the highs. Can't get it up. Going to a drive-in movie, solo, paying for the whole car, buying a large popcorn. Oh, crying yourself to sleep. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? The big question is whether Bitcoin can take advantage of the baton now being handed to it on a silver platter. Oh, that's very clever, whoever wrote this. I like this guy's style. A little bit sassy. Could be a lady. I don't know. The iShares Bitcoin Trust daily chart showed fund trading roughly 20% below the 200-day simple moving average. Tech just saw warning that nothing good happens. If more downside happens. Reminds me of No Country for Old Men. Like, I know what beer leads to. It's like, she goes, beer leads to more beer. It's like, he's like, didn't want to cheat on Carla Jean. I respect that. I have tremendous respect for Llewellyn Moss. Everything that he does, even trying to bring water out to that guy, end up getting him killed. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. The recent technical damage has been notable. The chart shows a failed breakout above a bullish ascending triangle, following a 3.5% gap up on January 14th. It was followed just a day later by completion of a bearish highline reversal triggered by 6.4. If you don't know what these patterns are, don't worry about it. They mean something, but only in context, and it doesn't really matter if you know what they are. I forgot all this crap. I'm sure you did too. You guys probably know it because you're total nerds. Triggered by a 6.4 gap down on January 20th. This offer may tactical re-entry. It should be even a lot lower as we see today. I think you could buy silver. April 7 lows 42.98 would be decisive, potentially signaling post a lost decade for the asset class. Between 81 and 2001, gold suffered a 2-decade bear market. Could Bitcoin, often called digital gold, face a comparable period of stagnation? I highly doubt it. Things are moving a lot faster. For crypto to resume its march upward, gold and silver's weakness would be met with Bitcoin's strength, not silence. Valid points. I just think there's really no reason. I mean, other than people think of them as like safe havens, there's really no reason some of these assets should be coupled. I don't see why. Silver in particular is a lot of industrial applications, supply and demand. I know Bitcoin's priced on, the entire thing is the limited potential supply of the Bitcoins. That's what makes it valuable, is its scarcity. Gold, I think, is just such an institution for so many thousands of years. It has it's kind of a party of one, if you will. You guys remember that show, Party of Five? Charlie had cancer. That was a sad show. Parents died in a car crash and the guy got cancer. It's fucked up. I don't know why I thought of Party of Five. I think it had a good song, good theme song, maybe. I can't really remember. Sabra. I like Sabra. They make a good hummus. Nebius. Yeah, I own quite a bit of Nebius on Tevis's say so. Danny, look above to check my end phase thesis. I really think people are missing this as an energy play. Yeah, I own some end phase. Not that much. When I was the last time we had a SOFI earnings where the macro was in total garbage? Never. The macro deteriorates just in time for SOFI earnings. Just law of the jungle. They say we have a lot of enablers. Yeah, well, that's what happens in Monte Carlo. Jay Ajayi's 2009 Bitcoin. His 2009 runs on Bitcoin. Yeah, that's good. Better than vegetable oil. You can't get that anywhere. I bought SoFi from 5 to 32. I didn't buy any in the 30s, but yeah, I was buying, in the 20s now. I bought most of mine around 5, 6, and some in the 4s, but I'm still way up on SoFi. It's a great investment for me, but I just wasn't comfortable. I knew that it was getting overheated, in the 30s. I knew it was getting to a point where it was just overbought. At least technically. It come way too far, way too fast. And that's just the reality. You have to resign yourself to. You have the choice to either dump it, try to buy it back, which in this case would have been the prudent decision. But everybody says, oh, there's such an opportunity cost. We're missing holding the stock. I mean, if you knew which stocks were going to go up and down when, yeah, you'd be, one hell of a popular guy. Everybody want to tickle your balls. Hey, riddle me this. If I tickle your balls, you think you'll give me a stock tip? He's like, yeah, maybe. What about that stock tip? He's like, I don't know nothing about stocks. I ain't that guy. Why am I tickling your balls? I have no idea. Yes, this show's terrible. I know. Where do you think fair value is for SoFi? I think the stock. I think it's a $37 stock, given the growth. Oh, sorry. Had a alarm set for some reason. Oh yeah, I got to file some tax documents. Technically, you got till Monday if you got to file 1099s and all that bullshit. Technically, you got till Monday because the last day of the month is a Saturday, but you're better off doing it today. I want to be in compliance right here in Brainerd. I really want to be in compliance. Working on a Steve Buscemi impression. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Been no point to this whole video. I think it was a really solid ER. I mean, I really, really love the momentum SoFi has as a business. The leverage, the durable competitive advantage. The deposit base is giving them such dramatic advantage in terms of the cost of capital, which is so fundamental to every aspect of every business, fintech, lending, banking, anyone in this space. A 2% lower cost of capital is an insane, durable, competitive, structural advantage that is not going away. And just because somebody else gets a bank charter, it doesn't mean they're going to be able to attract these quality of deposits. It's a whole other thing to get deposits in bank accounts than it is to get deposits in trading accounts. Two totally different breeds of people. I said a million times, I'm more of a trader. I'm more of an idiot. We all know that. I'm impulsive. I'm fat. I like chicken quesadillas. We all know I got problems. We know I got issues. The dude is not the issue. Vladimir Ulyanov. I love me Walter Sobchak. It's kind of my spirit animal. Calms me down. Calmer than you are. Yeah, thanks, Fireman P. Great to see you, man. Welcome back to the channel. What the hell was I talking about? I have a 35 average on Enphase. I originally bought it at 70, sold at 220, waited to buy back. Dude, Devin Ashita is a wise man. We should listen to him. Get the hell away from this channel. You should start a channel, Devin. You sound like a total badass. Sound like a ninja warrior. Sound like a Jedi. I fancy myself a fat Jedi. I also fancy myself a fat tennis ninja. But hey, I fancy myself many things. A warrior poet. I'm buying the dip on Microsoft. I'm buying the dip on SoFi. I'm buying the dip on SMCI. I haven't bought SMCI today. I bought some yesterday. I'll probably buy some today. I don't have that much dry powder left, guys. I've been buying everything. I'm full. Most of the time, I'm fully invested. I got bills to pay. I got mortgage pay and all kinds of shit. Yeah, I can do your sales tax. Got to do all your probably no estimated's not right now. Estimated's on the quarterly, but thank God. All right, guys. Hey, I mean to be anticlimactic. I know this show's so totally stupid, but yeah, it's an ugly chart. I mean, but I personally believe these things are pre-programmed in. I think they're like, hey, we're going to take this thing to 23 and we're going to churn it and we're going to try to add shares there, or maybe they'll take it lower. This week. A lot depends too on where the market goes. Gold coming back down. Nasdaq's trying to recover. Basically the same pattern. All the indexes. VIX is up. Small caps and mid caps. Russell 2000, or I guess it's more mid cap. Really getting hammered. Really getting ass hammered. Lost Pioneer bought 1 billion shares at 1. Never went to 1. I bought tens of thousands of shares at like 5. But believe it or don't, it's like Ripley's. I don't care. And then people are like, oh, put a screenshot. It doesn't prove you own it or anything. You gotta show your tax returns and all that shit, which I'm never gonna do. And it's not because I don't have a lot. It's not because I have less than I don't know. Never want to tell people how much money you have. And they're gonna want to borrow it. Come over for dinner. If you pick them up and give them a ride. Microsoft is growing like a weed. I mean, they have crazy demand. They're positioned to sell AI to businesses far better than anybody else. I mean, I just think that stock is crazy cheap right now vis-a-vis any of the other Magnificent Seven. That's the only one. I mean, honestly, right now, Microsoft is the main thing I'm buying. I bought some SoFi, but I have a ton of SoFi already. Microsoft is just an exceptionally high quality company. I think it's way too cheap, but you know, you got to do you guys. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I know it's kind of a bittersweet day because we do have the results I think that a lot of us were looking for. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit better, but overall, I'm very pleased with, what management turned in. But I'm not at all shocked that we're getting spanked. It's just, it always happens to this stock. It's a project stock. Meaning the price action is not necessarily just tied to fundamentals and sentiment of institutional investors and pension and retail. Mechanics are on the stock, pushing it to and fro for their own purposes, and we just have to ride the bus to the final destination, which is the top. But we do have to understand there's going to be some breakdowns, some stops, some delays, some detours and stuff along the way. But that's why we're passengers and we're not the bus driver. Um, and that requires a lot of patience. It does require missed opportunity costs, etc. But trying to like hop from stock to stock is like trying to time. They're like, oh, Palantir went up, I should jump to that. Just when you jump to that one, it comes down a lot. So that's why I don't jump away from SoFi just because it goes up and comes down. I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's going to be much, much, much higher. But Cav is a good buy eventually. Could be. Thanks a lot, guys. Neil Watson. No frauds in Minnesota's. I got to do sales tax. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, Lost Pioneer. Thanks, the great Not a Lurker. I think he had to go back to work, but Fireman Pete, Harding Tutors, CJPS Productions. Yeah, SMCX, we're probably getting absolutely crushed, but I'm going to buy more. Anyway, guys, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Peace. I'm out.